Hey doll faces! So I just wanted to have this sit down talk to kind of really explain where I'm at with diet and training and competition prep and everything like that, since it's been a while since I've recorded. So I'll just kind of get right into it. So basically, as of Tuesday, I decided to try out keto. If you don't know what keto is, it's a diet that is very, very high fat, very, very low carb, and moderate protein. And basically, there has been a ton of new studies on this type of dieting that I have been looking into. And it just seemed really interesting to me, and I wanted to, just try something new, try a new challenge. I've been doing the same type of dieting now for quite some time, so I figured might as well switch it up a little bit. So basically, I kind of want to clear a few things up about this type of dieting. I've had a ton of people since I started keto. I've had a ton of people that came up to me and said, oh, I tried that once and I didn't lose any weight, or I tried that once and it was terrible and I felt terrible, and it's just not, I was afraid I was going to lose a bunch of muscle. So I kind of wanted to just clear a few of these things up. So if you tried keto and you did not lose quite a bit of weight right up front, like probably 5 pounds, then you didn't do it right, honestly, because what keto is basically doing in the very first transition is it's taking all of the water out of your muscles. And so if you don't lose a ton of water weight right up front, then you're probably not doing keto right, and you're probably not keto adapting. So basically, the well-formulated keto diet is 70 to 75% fat, 20 to 25% protein, and then the rest is carbs, so like 5 to 10% is carbs. Usually it's under 30 grams. You really shouldn't go any higher than 30 grams of carbs of your whole caloric intake. And so there's that. So basically, and a ton of people have said that they felt terrible. I did keto and, I felt terrible. Well, that's to be expected. And you kind of have to just ride the wave out, and just allow your body to adjust. And that's kind of the same with any type of new diet, any type of thing that you're doing. You're going to feel terrible. Like, when you go low carb because of show prep and stuff like that, you feel terrible. The difference between keto and a low carb diet is that you actually are giving your body a different a different energy source. So rather than using carbs as energy, it is now having to transition to using fat as energy, and your body doesn't want to do that. And the reason why your body your body basically wants to use the easiest form of energy, and that is carbs. It takes a lot more energy to break down fat as energy. So your body is kind of basically lazy, and it just wants to take the easiest thing first. That doesn't mean that it's any better or worse as far as energy. Like, they're both going to give you energy, but the problem is that there is that transition period of telling your body, like, you need to start using this other form of energy, and your body's going to get angry. And basically this is in the form of what they call keto fog. And keto fog is basically, or keto flu is another term. Basically that is exactly what it is. You are going to feel like you have the flu. You're going to feel foggy. You are going to be in the middle of a sentence and forget what you were saying. And it's totally normal. And believe me, it doesn't last very long. So I started full-on keto on Tuesday. And I basically decided that for 1 week, I was just going to eat intuitively, and I was going to eat no carbs and only fat sources, and just making sure that the only thing I was tracking was my protein, to make sure that I got enough protein in. So what I did. And Tuesday I was fine. Obviously my body still had a ton of glycogen from the carbs that I was eating prior to that. So Tuesday I felt fine. Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday I felt awful. I went in and out of headaches. I just basically felt really just foggy, and I wanted to just go to sleep. I didn't want to do anything. And I just powered through it. And then yesterday and today, I feel great. I have a lot more energy, and I feel a lot better. It does take minimum about 2 weeks to fully keto adapt if you have never done so before. And the reason is because your body, again, is not used to this form of energy. So it's going to take it a lot longer to fully transition and get the glycogen out of your muscles and really, you know, switch over to that different energy source. Another thing that I've heard is that, oh, you're going to lose muscle because your muscles need carbohydrates to gain muscle. And first of all, I want to point out that I am in a basically a competition prep, so my calories are lower than what they should be to gain muscle. So basically, in order to gain muscle, you have to be in a caloric surplus, which I am not. So I am not expecting to gain muscle right now. If I do, yay, woo, but I'm honestly not expecting to. So that is the difference here. So what I wanted to do more research on was not whether you can gain muscle on keto or not, which there is a ton of research out that says that you can, by the way, if you are in a caloric surplus. So what I was doing research on is losing body fat while keeping muscle mass. And there was a ton of studies done on this. And what actually happens, and I've got notes here, so sorry when I'm looking down. What actually happened was they took bodybuilders versus non-bodybuilders. Adapted bodybuilders versus non-adapted bodybuilders. So the study was not inclusive of the time it took them to adapt to keto. And for 3 weeks, they gained the same amount of muscle mass, but the people that were keto adapted actually lost more body fat. So, I mean, that's kind of awesome. And it's not just that one study. There's been a lot of those types of studies recently. So I urge you to do your own research on any diet, really. Like, don't just believe somebody just because they're doing it. Don't just go on Instagram and see that, you know, Bob is doing this type of diet and he lost 30 pounds. Like, Bob's diet and Bob's body in general is different than yours, and your body is going to react differently in different ways. So I'm not saying that this high-fat diet is for everyone, but I do know my body, and I know that it responds really well to fat, and it doesn't really care about carbs. I really never crave carbs. I always crave fat, and that is the main reason that I decided to switch over to this diet, because before I was fairly low carb, like moderate carb and very low fat, and I was never satiated. I would go and I would eat a meal, and then almost 30 minutes later I was hungry again, and I would have to wait hours before eating again, and it was miserable for me. So I knew that I needed to do something else and try something else, like to find what works best for me and for my body. So again, with the building of muscle thing, your body, once your body transitions over to using fats, it actually uses the backbone molecule of the backbone of the fat molecule, and it changes that into carbs and glycogen for your muscles. So in reality, yes, your brain and your muscles do need carbohydrates to function, but what's crazy about your body is that it will figure out how to use the things that it has to best function. So it actually knows how to change fat molecules and protein molecules into carbohydrates to be best used. So in reality, even though you're not eating carbs, your body is getting everything that it needs. The body is an amazing thing, and you have to trust that it's going to do what it needs to do to survive. And so some of the positives of going keto that I have noticed and I've done research on is one of the main things is being more satiating. Fat in general is more satiating. Like, you are just not as hungry when you are eating more fat. And so obviously we don't want to be hungry all the time. So that is definitely one of the huge positives. Also, your blood sugar is more stable because you're not having that dip of blood sugar issues when you're eating carbohydrates going 4 hours in between meals. So your blood sugar spikes and then it goes down, and then it spikes and then it goes down. So you're not having that issue when you are eating a high fat, very low carb diet. So again, if you have tried this before and failed, I do urge you to do some more research and maybe try it again. There is a very good chance that you may not have just been doing it correctly, or maybe not expecting, you know, the certain things that you should expect for the first week or two. So that's what's going on with me, and I'm definitely going to have you guys follow me throughout this phase and show you different you know, different recipes and stuff like that that are keto adapted. So for example, you can make cookies, you can make cakes, cheesecake, you know, all of these different food products that don't have carbs, but they will give you that idea of carbs. And so I'm going to show you like maybe a recipe a week so that you can see that it's not as hard as it sounds to go fully low carb, no carb. I can honestly say that I do not crave carbs at this point. You know, it honestly doesn't even look good anymore. And so yeah, that's where I'm at. I'm definitely going to do a few full day of eatings and stuff so you guys can get some ideas of what that looks like if you want to try it yourself. So if you have any questions about this type of dieting or what keto means, then feel free to leave them below or on my Instagram or anything, and I will answer them to the best of my knowledge, or give you links to articles that I have read so you can do your own research, because I fully believe that rather than listening to people, doing your own research is key. And you know, there's so many scientists out there that are studying these types of diets and low carb, high carb, all of these types of things. There are even types of diets, types of keto diets that you can actually incorporate carbs during certain times. So for example, targeted keto dieting is when you first have to fully keto adapt, and then after that you can actually incorporate carbs targeted around your workouts. So you basically eat, you know, 15 to 30 grams of carbs pre-workout, and your body just eats it up. Like your body is like, carbs, yes, please. And so you actually don't ever get out of ketosis. You don't ever have to keto adapt again, because your body uses those carbs almost immediately, so it doesn't really ever leave that state. The other one is cyclical keto dieting, which is basically a cheat meal, or cheat days. Sometimes like people go 1 to 2 days without eating keto. I've also seen it to where it's just one meal per week. And the problem with this is that while you do replenish your glycogen stores and it helps your muscles quite a bit, the problem is you basically don't get into ketosis as fast, because you do leave that state. So it takes 1 to 2, maybe even 3 days to get back into that state, which means there's a very good chance you're going to re-enter that state of the keto flu and the fog. And I personally don't want to do that weekly. So I haven't quite decided which direction I'm going to go. I do think I'm going to experiment with adding in carbs during certain times, or the cheat meal type thing, just to kind of see how things go. But I'm going to stick with the standard keto diet for a little while, to fully keto adapt and to fully make sure that my body is running on ketones. And then I will kind of try to reintroduce the carb situation. So again, if you have any questions at all, I am happy to answer them. I'm going to enter in some old training footage that I took about 2 weeks ago, and I just kind of haven't really had anything else to say on my YouTube, so I just haven't posted them. So here's some workout clips. Again, they are a little bit older, but I hope you enjoy them.
And you make me feel like a rebel, but I will not give you a reason to destroy me more and more again and again.
Please feel free to follow me on Instagram, follow me on YouTube. I'm happy to help you guys with any questions or workout ideas, or how to get into this keto type state. So y'all have a wonderful day. Bye.